Hi, third graders, it's Miss Ashby. I am so excited to be teaching our writing lesson today because today we're going to take all of the hard work that we've been putting into creating nonfiction paragraphs and we're going to take it and we're going to work to create our own feature articles together. Our big focus as writers today is to be thinking about text features in feature articles and be thinking about how they help us as readers and as writers to understand the text better, but also to make the text compelling and engaging. So, first, during our lesson, we're going to spend some time reviewing what a feature article is. We'll spend some time reviewing what nonfiction paragraphs have in them. Then we'll spend some time looking at different text features in feature articles. And then at the very end of this activity, I'm going to walk you through how to create your own feature article. Today, your job as a writer will be to create a feature article about one nonfiction topic. You will only need to include one nonfiction paragraph and then maybe 2 to 3 different types of text features. I'll walk you through all of those things and I'll show you exactly how to do that on your own. I'm so excited to see the different things that you come up with. All right, let's spend some time as writers reviewing what a feature article is. A feature article is a nonfiction piece of writing. The goal is to teach the reader about a specific topic. Feature articles are organized in an appealing way to engage readers. That's really what our focus is going to be about today. How can we create a feature article that is organized and appealing with our readers? So today we're going to be thinking about how those text features could organize our writing and how it could also engage our readers. Let's spend some time reviewing what a text feature is. I want you to think back to Reader's Workshop time. I want you to think back to some of our reading mini lessons. You'll recognize some of these examples. Some of them might be new to you, or some of them maybe you just had forgotten. We'll work to be thinking about how could we use these text features in our feature articles. One text feature that you might use today in your feature article is a title. The title is always at the top of the page and it tells the reader what the text is going to be about. So in this example, you see a picture of a magazine and the title says pandas. As a reader, I know right away that the main idea is about pandas and that's what I'm going to be reading about. Another example of a text feature could be a table of contents. A table of contents is often used in magazines or nonfiction books. Today we're writing an article, so you won't include a table of contents in your feature article. A heading is another example of a text feature. I think back to those lessons of main idea that you've been working on the past couple of weeks about how headings help to tell us what a certain section of an article or a book is going to be about. So you might include a heading in your article today if you decide to write more than one paragraph about your topic. Photographs. Photographs are a great example of text features. Photographs really help the reader understand the topic. They're also really compelling for the reader. Captions. A caption is a small text near a picture that tells information. You will find captions underneath pictures to describe that picture to the reader. Labels are words that tell about a specific part of a picture or diagram. So maybe if you're talking about a certain animal, maybe you include labels on that animal of adaptations that that animal has that helps them out. Bold print are words that are bolder or darker and very important to the topic. In the example, you'll see that it says it is important to wear a helmet for safety. You'll see that the word helmet is bold or dark, and that's because it's really, really important to the text and the reader wants to draw your attention to that word. You might include a diagram in your feature article or as a text feature. So a diagram is a labeled picture that shows the parts of something. In the example, I see that the author has included a diagram for the life cycle of a butterfly. You might include a chart to show some information about your topic or your feature article. An index is often used in nonfiction books or in nonfiction magazines so that the reader can find important topics in the text and find their page numbers. Since today you're creating an article with just one paragraph and about one specific topic, you won't include an index as a text feature in your article. But I wanted to show you that example so you could start to relate and remember some of those different examples of nonfiction text features. I want to show you a student example of a feature article. When we look at this feature article, I want you to be thinking about what text features draw your attention right away. What text features is the author including that makes their writing organized, and what makes it more compelling and engaging for you as a reader. So be looking for those titles, be looking for those pictures, be looking to see if you can find headings or captions as well. This feature article was done by a previous third grader. Right away, my eyes are drawn to the title of the text. That's such an important text feature to include in your article. So the title of this text is Cheetahs. Right away, as a reader, I know what I'm going to be reading about. I know what my topic is. Some other text features that draw my attention right away are those photographs. Those photographs are helping me understand the text better. Another text feature that I see right away is this bold word that the author included in the very first sentence. That must be something really important or something that I need to remember as a reader about this topic. Down here at the bottom, I see a map that the author has included to help me understand the topic better. I'm going to read this feature article to you. Two things that I want you to be thinking about as I read this article. One thing I want you to be thinking about is the text features that the article is using. The second thing that I want you to be thinking about is how is the author presenting information about this topic? How are they writing that nonfiction paragraph? Are they using those different parts? Do they have an opening sentence? Do they have a conclusion sentence? And do they have details in between it? So be thinking about the text features, how they help us, and then be thinking about that nonfiction paragraph structure as I read this feature article to you. Cheetahs. What animal comes to your mind when you think of fast? Maybe a cheetah for being the fastest land animal. Cheetahs can run up to 75 miles per hour. Cheetahs aren't small like the cats you may have at home. Their long legs help them run so fast. They keep their balance with their tail. The photo below shows the motion of a cheetah running. That feature or that text feature of those photographs show me how the cheetah is running. I love that the author bolded the word fast because it was really important to that paragraph. The next paragraph says, a cheetah's diet contains gazelles and wildebeest calves. Cheetahs can survive for 10 days without food or water. Cheetahs have predators like a lion, leopard, or spotted hyena. Adult cheetahs weigh 46 pounds to 160 pounds. Male cheetahs will hunt together. They are called coalitions. Female cheetahs hunt alone, sometimes with their cub. It looks like the author chose a photograph that matches the paragraph of a cheetah's diet or how they are predators and how they hunt their food. Down at the bottom, the last paragraph says, cheetahs give birth after carrying the baby for 20 months to 24 months. The cheetah cub weighs in at about 10.5 ounces when born. Cubs go off on their own at 16 months to 18 months. A cheetah cub will start to hunt at 8 months, usually unsuccessful and clumsy. It looks like the author included a map of where to find cheetahs in Africa as a way to help me understand the topic better. As we continue with looking at some more featured articles and think about our own text, I want you to be thinking about what type of text features could you add in your feature article today? Here's another example. So this article was taken from a magazine. Right away, again, my eyes are drawn to the title of the text. I see the title right away as Spying on Polar Bears. As an author or as a reader, I know exactly what this text is going to be about. It's going to be about spying on polar bears. Some other text features that my eyes are drawn to right away are the photographs and then those captions as well. Let's take a closer look. So the photograph at the very top, it looks like the caption says a polar bear and her cub. I can make some guesses and some inferences about this article and that specific picture. It looks like maybe somebody is spying on polar bears to find more information about them. It looks like the author has also included some bold words and then a little glossary down at the bottom to give me more information about those words. They must be really important to the text. Maybe you include bold words in your article today. Over here, it looks like the author has included a map of the Arctic region. That seems important to me as a reader to understand where polar bears come from and to maybe understand a little bit more about how scientists go about spying on them. It looks like down here in the bottom is a really cute picture of a polar bear. I don't really understand what's happening in the picture, but luckily the author has included a caption to describe that picture to me. So it says polar bears keep clean by rubbing snow on themselves. Oh, that's awesome. I love that the author included that picture and that caption to describe it to me. It looks like over here in the corner, the author has included a fact box about how scientists go about using drones to spy on polar bears. I hope that you think about including some of those text features in your feature article today. Before we go into how to create a feature article and before we go into how to create those text features on your own, I want to review with you what a nonfiction paragraph has in it. A nonfiction paragraph is so important to a feature article. Those text features are fun because they include photographs, they include maps, they include fun facts, but the paragraphs is where the reader gets their information from. So as writers, we have to really work to make sure that our nonfiction paragraph makes sense and is telling the reader the information that they need to know about our topic. So in a nonfiction paragraph, in that hamburger paragraph, your first sentence is your main idea. Your second, third, and fourth sentences, that's the cheese, the meat, and the lettuce. That's the important stuff of the burger of your paragraph. Those are our details. The last sentence is the main idea. That's the conclusion sentence. It wraps all of our information up and leaves the reader feeling satisfied about what they just read. Here is a paragraph example. Let's take a look to make sure that it has all of those parts on it, or all of those parts in it. The very first sentence should be my main idea. Apples can be used to make mini treats. Awesome. I know right away what I'm going to be reading about as a reader. My next 2 to 3 sentences should be about how people use apples to make treats. Some people use apples to make apple pies. Other people like to cook apples into applesauce. Apples can also be dipped into caramel. You might like to just pick up a fresh apple and take a bite. Awesome. The author included that second sentence through the fourth sentence about details of how to use apples to make treats. The last sentence should be my conclusion sentence. It should wrap the whole paragraph up. There are many ways to enjoy this healthy treat. That's a great example of what a nonfiction paragraph could look like. Before we go into creating some feature article examples together, I want you to begin thinking about a topic that you feel like you could write about today for your feature article. So some things that you might feel like you're an expert at that you don't have to do research on to create this nonfiction feature article could be about one of these things. Maybe you talk about a specific sport. This would not be on Miss Ashby's expert list, so she would not be writing about a sport or a game that you might play as her feature article example. Maybe you decide to write about a specific animal. Maybe you write about dolphins. Maybe you write about pandas. Maybe you write about a video game. I know lots of third grade experts on Fortnite or Minecraft or Roblox. Maybe you write about a specific athlete that you know and look up to. Maybe you write about a famous person, a singer, a movie star, any celebrity that you know. Maybe you write about a flower or a plant. I know a couple of third graders who have been working on planting things in their garden. So maybe you write about tomatoes. Maybe you write about roses. Maybe you write about tulips. Maybe you write about a specific city that you know a lot about or a city that you've been to before. I want to try an example with you today. Pay close attention to some of the ways that I go about creating text features in my feature article. So I was thinking about things that I'm an expert at, and I was thinking about topics that I really like to share with others and that I like to give information about. Today I've decided that I'm going to write my feature article about service dogs. You'll notice when you go to do your feature article that on Google Slides, the page looks a little bit different, that the format looks different than what you're used to for Google Slides. So your feature article will be vertical and not horizontal. So that's why the page is a little bit longer than it is wide. And it helps make it easier to read, and it helps make the format of your feature article look better. So at the very top, I see topic. Usually, in feature articles, authors don't just write topic, colon, and then the topic that they're writing about. Usually, authors replace that with the title of what they're going to be writing about. So if I'm going to be writing about service dogs, then that's what I'm going to make my topic. You, I know, are way more creative than I am, and you probably are thinking of a catchy title that I could write about service dogs, and you're probably yelling it at your computer screen of something better that I could use as a title. But today, since my main idea is about service dogs, I'm going to leave my title as service dogs as well. You might be interested in changing the font of your title as well. So up at the top, you'll see probably the word Arial, and then below it, you'll see the word font. That changes what our text looks like. I want to make my text more compelling for the reader, so I'm going to change it to this one. Awesome, I've already got one text feature in my article to make it easier for the reader to understand my topic. Now I'm going to work on that nonfiction paragraph to tell my reader about service dogs. Since that nonfiction paragraph part is so important to the reader, it's the most important part of the text, I'm going to do it right away. I know that in a nonfiction paragraph, my first sentence is my main idea. My main idea is service dogs. Service dogs are animals that have jobs. My next 2 to 3 sentences are all about the details that I know about service dogs. Sometimes they help police officers, find criminals or weapons. They are trained to find missing people when there is a disaster, such as a flood, avalanche. Other dogs act as eyes for blind people. Looks like I included my details about how service dogs help people. My last sentence should be my conclusion sentence, and it should sum up my whole paragraph. Awesome. I'm going to go back and look at my paragraph to make sure that I have a main idea sentence, that I have 2 to 3 detail sentences, and that I have a conclusion sentence. When I go back and read it, I'm also going to make sure that I have my capital letters and periods. Service dogs are animals that have jobs. Sometimes they help police officers find criminals or weapons. They are trained to find missing people when there is a disaster, such as a flood, avalanche, or tornado. Other dogs act as eyes for blind people. Service dogs do so much to help people around the world. Awesome! I've got my title, I've got my nonfiction paragraph. Now I'm going to work to add a couple other text features in my article. One text feature that I know is so important, and maybe my favorite text feature that I look for as a reader, are pictures. What inspired me to write this article was a service dog that maybe you already know about. His name was Sergeant Stubby. I want to make sure to include a picture of him in my article. To add a picture in your article, you go to Insert, Image, search the web. Okay, Sergeant Stubby. While I love pictures of dogs, especially service dogs, I want to make sure that the picture I include in my text is actually one that's helpful to the reader and not just cute. I'm going to choose this one right here. Now, for most people who are reading this article and they see this picture, they might not know who this cute dog is. I need to include another text feature that would help my readers understand this picture. I'm going to include a caption. So to include a caption, you go to Insert, Text Box. Whoops. Sergeant Stubby was one of the first military service dogs. He served in World War I. I'm going to make my text a little bit smaller here because typically in articles, your captions text will be smaller than the main paragraph or the main information that you're getting as a reader. Another picture that I want to include is about how much training that these service dogs have to do before they can become one. So I want to insert another image. Whoops. Of a service dog training. Oh, there's lots of cute pictures here. But if I'm going to talk about how they have to do training, I need to find a picture that would match that. Maybe I can even make this search more specific. Okay, now I need to include what this picture is about. I'm going to insert a text box so that I can describe this picture with a caption. Awesome. I know you as writers probably have a million other ways that I can make my article more compelling or make it more engaging for the reader. So maybe I could include some fact boxes. Maybe I could include a chart. Maybe I could include a diagram. I bet you've got lots of other ideas of how I can make this text more compelling for my reader. But as of right now, I really like my feature article, and this is all I have to do as a writer today. One other thing that you might be interested in including in your feature article is changing the background color of your article. So if you're interested in changing the background color of your article, you'll go to Slide, Change Background, and where it says Color, you'll click that little box and pick a color that you think would maybe match what you want your feature article to look like. You'll want to make sure that the color that you pick doesn't take away from the reader being able to actually read the text. So if I picked like a black background, I wouldn't be able to see my text at all, and then the reader wouldn't be able to even understand what I was talking about. So when you go to put your text features into your feature article today, make sure that the reader can still actually read the text and still understand the text. Our text features are just to help the reader and organize our writing and not make it more difficult for the reader to be able to understand. Today, for your independent practice on Google Slides, you'll see your independent practice titled as Text Feature Practice. The very first page are your instructions. So for this activity, you'll be writing a nonfiction paragraph about one of the given topics. You'll choose one topic you want to write your paragraph on. So below, you'll see many, many examples of topics that you could write about. You only have to pick one. If you want to do more, absolutely, do as many feature articles as you would like to. Your job as a writer is to write a complete paragraph with a topic sentence, 2 to 3 detail sentence, and a concluding sentence. You'll also work to add 2 to 3 text features to your feature article. So it could simply just be a title, it could be pictures, it could be captions. I included an example that we created together today about service dogs. When you scroll down, you'll see some topics that were created for you. You don't have to write about one of those topics. You can also change those topics to fit what you know about what you feel like you might be an expert on. So you'll notice that the first one says baseball. If you don't know much about baseball and instead you know a ton about softball, no worries. Delete this text and write softball instead. Tell me all of the things that you know about softball or basketball or football. Maybe today you want to write a nonfiction paragraph and add 2 to 3 text features about pets. Maybe you even think about a specific pet that you own. Maybe you just got a new hamster and you're going to tell me all about hamsters in your feature article. Maybe, like Miss Ashby, you have summer on the brain and you want to write a paragraph and add 2 to 3 text features about summer. Maybe you love and miss DeSoto Intermediate just like me and you want to write a feature article about all of the cool things that we do at our school. Maybe you are an expert on dolphins. Maybe you're an expert on pandas. Maybe you're an expert on the Vikings football team. Maybe you decide that the last one, this one right here, you're going to pick your own topic. You'll delete this part right here and you'll pick the awesome expert topic that you already know a ton about. I am so excited to see the different examples that you come up with. On the Google Slides page that says text boxes/text features, you'll see the very last 3 slides are about how to do some of those features on Google Slides independently. So if you need to change your background, you'll go to Slide, click Change Background, and then click the color button or search an image on Google. If you are going to work to add a text box, at the very top, go to Insert, Text Box, and then click where you want your text box to be. Maybe you're going to add a picture as a text feature in your article. Click Insert at the top of your slides, go to Image, and then search the web. I know just how creative you are, and I also know how independent you are, so I know that you'll be able to do some of these things on your own. I can't wait to see the different feature articles you come up with. I know you're going to do great on this assignment. Have a great week. Have a great week, third graders.